Still can't find a way out. I've been trying to get through this damn jungle since 2020. Every time I keep going, I ran into a pandemic. And I thought it'd be over by 2021, but it wasn't. And now there's monkeypox and the gas prices. And I just gotta keep going. I guess the only way out is through. I just don't know where to go. I guess I'll keep going. Y'all enjoy the episode.
You know, we have a lot of expressions in the English language.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
What are we talking about?
Where'd that come from?
Most all of us use them every day.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means.
You know, we just say them as if they really made sense.
I mean, how silly is that?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
What the is he talking about?
What's good, y'all? What's good? You know what it is and you know who it is. Welcome to Appraise the Phrase, Origins of Everyday Expressions. It's me, Mario, and we're here to do trace things. I don't know what things is in Spanish, but it's to unveil the origin, confirm the meaning, and assess the value of everyday common phrases. My dog 20 is in the building as usual, with me in the building. What's up, big dog?
You know what it is, man.
I do.
Just, running away from this rain, man. Sometimes this rain comes.
It's raining out there?
I don't know.
Literally?
Bro, like it is.
Guess what it is over here? I think it's 96 degrees.
I see you in your tank.
Usually I got a crew on, man. And it's like, I'm like, yo, first of all, I'm not cutting the AC on before a certain time in the crib. And two, I heard that it's bad for you to have the AC on all the time because then your body doesn't understand like the seasons. Real shit.
What?
I promise,
That's some
bro.
Up north shit, bro.
That's some up north shit. Yeah, well, y'all don't have the seasons,
shit,
man. Your brain is already wired different, dog.
Yeah, that's true.
If anybody didn't know, 20 is in
Everybody
Miami.
getting off from Miami. And we have 3 seasons. We have 3 seasons down here in Miami, and one of them is called the rainy season.
Yeah. It's emotionally as much as literally.
Summer, fall, and rainy season. That's
Cool, man. That's cool. All right, man. We here today. I'm geeked up because the phrase today comes from somebody who does the thing, walks the walk, talks the talk, and it's a phrase that is all about that. So before we get into that, let me introduce and welcome my guy, podcaster, founder and owner of the Monarch Brand. My man Daniel is in the building on ATP, the Expression Appraisal Table. What's good, Daniel? How you feel, bro?
I'm feeling great. How y'all feeling?
Man.
Oh, all good, Danny.
Hey, that's the first time in the history of the show that anyone has ever asked us how we're fucking feeling.
Yeah, you know what? That is true, man. We gotta check the archives, but I'm pretty sure none of our guests gave a fuck of how we were doing.
Hey, bro. Hey, y'all matter too, man. You feel me?
You know
I
what?
appreciate that, man.
You know what? Daniel, now most valuable guest, MVG. Like
you got to give him an applause for that.
Oh
one,
yeah,
man. You got to give him applause for that.
Y'all here?
Hey, stand up, people. Stand up, audience. Look at this guy, man. Look at this guy. You know what I'm saying? So, real quick, Dan, you already are showing character. You already are showing like unmatched character.
I didn't even know how to answer it.
Me neither, bro. That's why I said it.
Y'all just laugh.
Right.
Like, okay.
That was quick. Fire back, ping pong. Like my dog E40 would say, ping pong.
Hey, man, word to E40, man, a legend. So, yeah, real quick, man, before we get into the show, Daniel, tell us a little bit more about you, what you do, man.
Yeah, I'm a program manager by day. By night, I run the Monarch brand. I prefer to think of it as a lifestyle brand, but for now, tangibly, it's comes in the form of a handmade hair pomade and my podcast as well. And so I just, similar to you guys, I just like to get these thoughts out. You feel me?
Word. That's what we
simple life.
Simple life. That's why we wanted to have you on, man, because you do this and you doing something dope, man. So stay tuned. Be very, very clear and locked in on the Monarch brand, because there could be some special things coming your way to the viewers and listeners. Man, listen, that probably explains why you asked us how we're doing, because you get it. You've been on the other side of the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Word. So let's get into the phrase without further ado. Let's get into the phrase, man. The phrase today, man, I'm excited to see what 20 thinks of this, because I didn't green light this with them. Usually I do. It's been a busy time, because congratulations to my guy. We won't timestamp it, but congratulations to my guy.
Thank you so much, man. Life has changed.
Life has changed for 20. Do you want to expound at all?
Yeah, because I realized that in those few seconds after I said life has changed, that it really hasn't. It's the same thing, but it's just, it's a new chapter. You know what I'm saying? It's the same book, new chapter. Hopefully the transition goes well between the chapters. Yeah,
this has remained ambiguous. All I need you to do, because I love you, my brother, is just a quick spin to make sure you believe that it's a positive thing. Just please, because I know what you're dealing with, and we are doing an inside joke and leaving Daniel out. So what I'm saying is, bro, either get a little more detail or just spin it to the positive. I'm protecting you.
You know what? Honestly, it is a positive thing, even though my emotions hasn't allowed me to express it the way that you want me to, Mario. But it's definitely a positive thing. I got engaged. You know what I'm saying? And it's not something that I'll. Thank you so much.
No,
it's not something that I. Do you have a laughter? Did you just have a laughter?
I'm joking, dog. I'm sure that was me. Trish. That was not.
See how you do me, Danny? See how you do me, Danny, bro? He sets me up. He
to his point, you was out here sounding like. To his point, you was out here sounding like Obama a second ago. But congratulations, my guy. That's very exciting.
Man, that's what I'm trying to do, bro. Like I don't want to show emotions too much about what's going on, and then the next show I'm like, yeah, man, that bitch dumped me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like that. I want to be like,
he's gonna dump your ass.
And then the next show, like everybody's like, damn, what's up with 20, man? Let's do that.
Then I'm gonna have to have like then I'll add that to the
exactly, bro. Now you gotta have the the audience be all empathetic and pity for me.
Pitiful. It would be pitiful. But yeah, so actually this is a perfect segue, because as you're going on your journey, 20, this newfound positive, very positive journey that you're going through.
Very positive journey.
Mm-hmm. Very
I save my emotions to the end of the journey.
Yes, save those emotions to the very end, I suppose. That the phrase today is the only way out is through. Does that connect? Does that connect with you, brother? Let me set it up.
In my recent development, no,
I know, right now. Let's get even more political, dog. No, so the only way out is through. Now, this isn't one of the common everyday phrases, and we said we would, but we also, if you ever read the description, not so common, but this one goes for me, and I usually don't lead with the connection that I have to the phrase. I usually lead that to the guest, but I'm going to start with this one because this has a level of depth that I rock with very much so. So I'm definitely excited to get the thoughts and feelings of Daniel, 20, and then let's tie it up to the origin. So first, 20, set us off right. Your connection to, as you hear it, your connection to the only way out is through.
I would say I would go off just new to it. I really haven't heard it. I'm pretty sure that once we get into depth, it's got to be some type of various ways that it's been said that I would kind of like connect to. Mm-hmm. But pretty much it's just, from our first listen or first hear, I would say it's pretty much like there's no way around it. You know what I mean? There's no way around things. You got to go ahead and go through the things you have to go through to get to where you're going.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like I might be jumping out on early. I'm gonna put a little bit more extra sauce on it. You know how I like it, sauce, Mario.
I know.
Except for mayonnaise. It's like a situation where it's like get to the point. I would say that, or you know what I mean. Do what you have to do.
Do what you have to do.
That's kind of like what I hear. Those two things, those two phrases right there, is pretty much what I hear when I hear it. Like, Okay, get to the point. Don't kind of beat around the bush on it, which we kind of expanded on prior. And also, just you're gonna have to go through some things. You know what I mean, to get to where you want to go. And it's basically accepting that. You know what I'm saying? Accepting that you have to go through this to get to where you want to go.
Word. I like it, man. I like it. For you to have first heard it, I like it. I like where you're at with it. Daniel,
oh yeah,
is there
reading comprehension is on point.
It is.
Man.
It is.
Like,
Your auditory comprehension.
comprehension.
Yeah, it is. It is. Ever since you got engaged, it's been great. No.
See,
I'm done, bro. I'm done, bro.
Jabs.
I'm done, bro. I'm done,
Tyson,
bro.
Please, the jabs.
I'm done, bro.
The jabs, Tyson, please.
Is there a nickname, Daniel, we can call you? You want to keep calling you Daniel also?
Daniel, Danny, whatever. My family calls me Danny. Y'all can call me Danny, but Daniel's fine.
No, I'm family now. Look at me. I'm inviting myself
we
to dinner, bro. So, yeah, Danny, tell me your connection to, because you brought this phrase, man. I love when the guests bring the phrase. So you brought this phrase. Tell me your connection to it.
So on a surface level, I do martial arts, right? And so with martial arts, there's no way to get good except for doing the things that you hate. Like shadow boxing is trash, hitting the bag is trash, running is trash. But when you put it together in real life and you see why you need to do all those things to become a complete fighter, you have to go through those things in order to become complete, and at a deeper level, for me, as much as like I've been through, a few things personally, and as much as it hurt at the time, I would not have become the person I am without going through those things. And even on the business level, for Monarch, I started Monarch at the time where, things were working out for me romantically. I had lost my job. I had lost my apartment, living on a friend's couch, living on a few friends' couches. And just on some let me feel like a useful member of society in the past time, let me play with these oils a little bit. Next thing you know, I'm over the stove cooking some pomade. So
clear that up because it was on record. Clear that up. It was pomade, y'all.
right. But yeah, on multiple levels, it just resonates with me because, once you go through some things, when you see what's ahead, it's like, okay, I've been through this. I can do this. That's light work.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. That's why, and the way y'all connect to it, this is why I think it's a thing, man. And it's, before we get into the meaning, I want to make sure that I'm not advocating for the absence of being aware of the things or being aware of the path or being aware of the challenge, not suppressing that, but hey, man, a lot of the time, you got to still walk that thing. You know what I mean? So yeah. Let's get into the Webster's definition of the only way out is through. And Webster's be coming through with it, man. Everything's in there. So they describe it.
I don't know who's updating Webster, bro. But when you said baby mama was in there, I was
yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's somebody's job. That's somebody's job to update the Webster's website.
You bought Urban Dictionary?
No.
Respect.
Respect.
Nope. That's what I said too, Danny. I was like, they said Webster.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, I'm I had to be very clear. There was a definition in there. It was baby mama / baby mother, but still. All right.
Webster said, "Call me Webby for sure."
Call me Webby. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm in the hood, man. I bet you've been in the hood now, baby. We there. So the meaning, the Webster's definition of the only way out is through, is to reach whatever goals lie ahead. You must, whoa, slow down. All right, here we go. To reach whatever goals lie ahead, you must stay the path to come out better on the other side. My bad. One more time. To reach whatever goals lie ahead, you must stay the path to come out better on the other side. Now, Webster's, and they do this often with the definition is the words that they add and they use and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to toss it. I'm going to toss it to Danny, 21st. Now that you hear the definition, what are your thoughts to your connection to it now that you hear the official definition? What stands out?
I think it aligns. I think part of that path is consistency right? Like, when you know what you want to do, you set out on a path voluntarily, then there's a level of consistency that you have to show to get to where you want to go. For example, like connecting back to martial arts, like I'm not trying to fight professionally, but if I want to, I don't just show up just to show up. If I want to become good, I have to continue to show up to be good,
Right.
but also, when something isn't planned and something is thrown your way, life throws you a curveball. It's also being consistent to yourself and being true to yourself. You know what I mean? And not losing yourself in that process.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. That's real. I heard you like highlight the better part, the word better, which was sticking out for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of times, and I'm definitely gonna get your thoughts, 20. A lot of times, people when you talk about going through something and then you toss the word better in there, people start to try to water that down because it's measurement. There's measurement involved, and people don't like to be measured. They just like to be, and like there's a time and a place for just being, but for this phrase and for getting through things and fermenting, better is operative, I think. All right, 20, what you got?
But just like how you start, you're saying having to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things that is a necessity. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way around it. And I think that's where, like you say, then that's where people kind of like get scared of it, or they get to the point where it's like, yeah, I don't see the progress. You get what I mean? Like you really, we me and Mario talk about this too much, like how the journey and the progress is totally different from the destination and the actual goal. You get what I'm saying? And it's like once you won't be able to see the journey or the progress until you reach your goal, or at least to your point where you're at a point where your goal changes. You get what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of people, because reason why they don't get to it because they're worried about the journey and the progress. So it's like when you're going to the gym, and like you said, like we could use that too as well as another example. And you're putting in that work, and you the day after you're looking for changes. You get what I'm saying? And when you don't get them, you're like, nah, man, this ain't working. You get what I mean? The I feel like they have to put some type of way to let you know that these are things that you have to endure. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not going to be easy said. You know what I'm saying? Like what's that phrase? Like it's easier said than done. You get what I'm saying? Or it's easier. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be that situation, bro. Like in these aspects where you want to get a certain result, you're going to have to endure. And I think that's where, the words get kind of like mixed up to the point where people aren't trying to do it because they don't want to endure. They don't want to feel like they have to do it. You know what I mean? Like they want to feel like, hey, if I can just think it, it can be done. Or if I can just feel like I want to be a better fighter, oh man, I just in my mind, I'm a better fighter because I want to be a better fighter because I feel like it. Yeah. I don't want to put myself through the work. I don't want to even get hit. I don't even want to fight other people. I just want to, you know what I'm saying, learn these moves, you know what I'm saying, just in case. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you got to go through the fire, man. You got to go through that simulation of fighting to know how great you are or how good you are. You get what I mean? So it's like one of those, that's what gets me that necessity. The necessity of it.
I love that.
Like to focus.
I haven't heard anyone in a while outside of like E.T., the hip hop preacher, and that's been a while too, to like really focus on the necessity thing. Because from my perspective, and maybe I'm too insular and shit and stuck in my own shit, but like that part of life, that like insertion of like, well, you kind of have to, like, there's a buck back to me, there's a buck back in our society to the have to of a thing. Now you have every opportunity to choose what you would like to choose as your aiming point and your goal. But once you have acted on or even committed to choosing it, then there are have tos to everything. Shit, you have to have a license to drive a car. We can talk about like you don't, but there's a penalty for it. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
And that's where you, even in that what you just said, Mario, you get what I'm saying? Those people that are like, well, man, I don't need no license, you know what I'm saying, to drive because I know how to drive. You get what I'm saying? Like though, but yeah, you can do it. You can drive a car without a license, yeah. But is that going to get you that satisfaction of actually passing that test and coming home like, yo, I got my, you know what I'm saying? I got my license. I got the L's, baby. Where we going? We got the, you feel me? Like that excitement, bro. When you get your L's, bro, and you like looking at niggas that don't got their L's and be like, where we at? You know what I'm saying? It's my wheel. You know what I'm saying? I pick where we going. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the cherry. That's the goal. That's the mountaintop that you want to get to. You want that feeling of accomplishment. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're just doing shit just to be doing it, man, like, you're not going to appreciate it at all.
I get that. Danny, I'm going to toss this one to you. Again, I've gotten into this, probably my last show, that I'm going to preface a leading question by saying I don't like to ask leading questions. Like, I do like to ask leading questions. I thoroughly enjoy it. So I'm taking that out of my I'm no more. I'm not saying that. So here's a leading question. So what 20 said sparked something in me with the driving analogy to keep it going. Is like, also, like, eventually, like, if we make it very specific, eventually you won't make it to your destination because you have to be on edge. If you don't have them L's, you on edge. So, like, if your goal to drive is like, man, I don't need no L's. I'm just going to the store. I'm just driving myself to work. Man, eventually you won't get to work, nigga, if you get caught. So, Danny, what's your thoughts on how the phrase connects to, like, something as simple as getting L's for a driver's license? I mean, to be able to drive.
That's a good question. I think that with something as tangible as the L, like, it's pretty cut and dry. Like, you have to do this in order to get this. And there is a dedicated path to that. You know, you study the book, you go to, well, in Virginia, you go to DMV, you take your test, you find a driving school, you put your hours in. That's a pretty dedicated, like, guarantee, you know. If somebody wants to live that Grand Theft Auto life or whatever, you know what I mean, and like go about it the legal way, that's on them. Some people built different, you know, but it's pretty dedicated in that regard. The only thing that I'll add is that, you know, on the other side of that, the beauty of a journey is that when it's not so tangible, is that even if you know, we talked about consistency and things of that nature, even if you don't fully dedicate yourself to one journey, the act of simply putting yourself out there can put you on another path that you may not have seen yourself going to. And so in that regard, it's kind of a fluid phrase, you know what I mean?
Yep. I like that.
No, you're right. Because we can take it back to the martial arts, because you can sit around and not put in that work, and you come up against a technician, well, you're gonna get exposed. You're gonna get exposed. You get what I'm saying? You can sit up here and rely on your power or your hook or your legs, you know what I'm saying, leg sweep or whatever kind of, you know, style you have. But you come across somebody that put in that work in that art, you're gonna get worked. You're gonna get like worked. It's gonna be a long session for you, bro. You get what I'm saying? It's gonna be a teaching hour. That's what we call teaching hours. You feel me? You're gonna have that real smooth teaching hour real quick. You know what I'm saying? And some people, in some cases, if you don't put yourself in certain situations, you're not gonna know how to handle yourself in those situations.
Ooh, y'all talking, man. Look, let's get into the origin right now, because let's peel back some layers to see if the essence we're talking about is even where this phrase went to go, right?
This is the best part, Danny. This is the best part, man, because Mario let me go ahead and rant and do all this, and then hit me with a curve like, yeah, that's not what it means. I'll be honest with you. Like, he'll let me go on for like 20, 30 minutes to rant about something. I'm up here thinking I'm preaching over here. At least a deacon over here, bro. This guy comes in and hits me with that curve like, yeah, actually, it meant totally different.
And we gonna find out. Let's get into the origin, y'all. Natural binders. All right, cool. It's like, if I have to make it happen, it's not natural. Anyways, let's get into the origin of the only way out is through. So the essence of this phrase starts with a very, very, very popular piece of writing from a very popular writer. It originally comes from Dante's Inferno, which is part of the Divine Comedy, which was written in the 14th century. So the essence of it comes from one of the works that is considered one of the most preeminent Italian literature ever. It's like, it's one of those books. It's like you blow on it, fucking dust, and you're like, oh shit, this is Divine Comedy. Right. The part I opened the book to is Dante's Inferno, like that level. Like, you know what I'm saying? So in Dante's Inferno, Virgil, first of all, have either of y'all read Dante's Inferno? It's not judgment.
Not entirely.
I've been to the play. I've been to a rendition of a play a while ago, but I haven't read the actual literature.
Yeah, I thought about trying to read it.
You know what? I picked it up because I knew how important and how it was. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I kind of like skimmed through it just to see it, and then I was like,
yeah. No, I imagine it's a muscle exercise as much as anything. But I want to take that challenge on, man, just because I like that whole. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna read it in Italian, so I'm gonna get a layer removed. But I like that, like, if it's still written in the vernacular of the time, man, it's just something about that you can't get if you try to like update it. So
got an audio it, man.
Virgil in the story is taking Dante through hell. So that part of the journey is like it's a spiritual story, and he takes him through hell, purgatory, and heaven. And now, while sailing in a one-way current, they arrive at the gates. So they get to the I was about to say pearly. They get to whatever type of gates hell got, and they're looking in there, and Dante sees all the crazy shit, everything crazy inside, horrible shit, and he's like scared, like any level of trepidation that we've ever felt, times it by, I'm gonna say 40 million, that specific number, and knowing, like, realizing there's no way back, like he's not gonna be able to go back. So he asks Virgil that how can they get out this terrible situation, and Virgil says the way out is through. Now some have translated that is the way out is the way in. Now the way I take that, because I think that's a bar too, the way I take the way out is the way in, as in like it's in the same direction, my guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's in the same direction. If you try to go back out the door, you're going in the opposite direction. So the way out is in the same direction as the way in. And I love that. Like, that's why I say, like, translation, because if that's another essence of it, that adds to the power of the only way out is through. Now, the Divine Comedy finishes with Dante seeing the true God, and in the flesh, like seeing it in the flesh and understanding that he can't express like how he truly feels in the mysteries of the world and divinity. Like, he has no way to describe it, but he can feel it. He can feel humanity, and his soul becomes aligned with God's love. So I only say that to say that he committed to the way out is the way in, and he ended it with what I would call prosperity. He ended it on a happy ending. All right, so Danny, now that the Divine Comedy's interpretation and how it walked through, thoughts on that?
I think that I really do. Like, I was recalling what I saw from the play, way back when, as you was kind of describing, and I do remember him going through several layers of hell, and I do remember there being different learning lessons for each time that he went through that. And to have gone through that, I don't think he knew what he was getting into, but I think that who he wanted to become was greater, or who he ended up becoming was even greater than who he would imagine he would have been before he went in, versus totally different person than if he would have just taken the elevator up, you know what I mean? And like, boom, like totally different.
Just been like, yeah, come this way. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're right, then.
That's dope, man.
So, yeah.
That's a dope thought, man, because connecting that to the end game, right? Connecting that to the end game is like, you couldn't have even imagined that as you were the scaredest you ever been, to go through all those layers to get to true divinity, and true like understanding of humanity, which I feel like a lot of people like are very in desperate need of and are searching for. It's like to have felt that, like you couldn't have known. 20, where you at with it?
No, you're right. I feel like Daniel hit it on the head with that, because my whole interpretation of it was a situation of like, yeah, bro, you want the easy road out, but sometimes that's not the right road. You get what I'm saying? Like when you're faced with it, you get what I mean? Like, yeah, majority of people want to, turn around and flight. You get what I'm saying? But like, you become better when you just realize that this is the bed that I laid. You get what I'm saying? This is something that I have to go through. And like you said, Danny, you have an idea of how you will be on the other side. But once you get to that side, man, you're like 10, 20 times better than the idea that you thought you was going to be. You get what I'm saying? Like it's one of those situations where like your mind isn't big enough for the outcome yet. You get what I mean?
Right.
Like even in the beginning of that, his journey, his mind wasn't big enough to understand that, bro, the way out is through.
Yeah.
It wasn't there yet. A majority of the people that have to be told that their mind isn't there yet. So when they get to the end of their journey, it's like, man, like, it's not to say, not like an I told you so, but it's like, this is how it has to happen. Going back to the necessity. This is how it has to happen. Like, if you want to get out of this hell, you're going to go through hell. or it wouldn't be no hell.
In the literal sense, dog. In the literal sense, you got to go through hell to get out of hell. And I want to add, if I can, that had he, now we'll talk about divergence, right? Like, because Danny kind of talked about that, like the divergence. So not necessarily turning away, but just a different way, right? Not going through all the elements. I'll go out on a limb. Is to say, I don't know. I like to think, but I don't know where you would be and how you would end up. What I can guarantee is that if you turn around, you do not reach God. Dante does not reach God if he turns around. Like, that's the guarantee. He had to go through to get to that level. And if it's the ultimate humanity, ultimate love, then now we can talk a little bit about divergence. Then, I mean, you're not there. You're not getting there. All right.
And that's essentially what Virgil's saying.
That's essentially what Virgil's saying. Like, yeah, you're going to get through to get through. You got to get through to get through.
I'm going to be real with you, dog. It's that way.
Just no words.
Playboy. I see it in your soul right now. If you went the other way, ain't nothing going to change.
Ain't nothing going to change, fam. That's real. Don't scare everybody, bro. Don't put that challenge in front of people, man. Anyway.
But you know what? Sometimes, man, people need that, man. Like, people need that shit in life, bro. People need to continue to challenge themselves, to step out their comfort zone. Like, if you have responsibilities, I understand. You get what I mean? Like, I understand what it means to have responsibilities and do things that you feel like it's right for your set and where you are in life now. Mm-hmm. But there's always that voice in the back of your head, like, of change. Like, hey, man, let's do something different. Hey, and once you listen to that change, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's going to be scary, because I've gone through it too as well. You've gone through it, Mario, too as well, Daniel. I'm pretty sure you've been through a situation where it's like, damn, this shit's about to be scary as hell. You get what I'm saying? And once you start to change and you got kind of get that feel for it, everything else starts to elevate. Everything else starts to change too as well. And it's like, damn, you know what? All I wanted was like a few extra dollars in my pocket. But now, not all of a sudden, I got those few extra dollars. I got a whip. I got a space. I got, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got this, you know what I'm saying? I got more options, because where I'm at gives me more options for everything, not just money, not just financial. I'm talking about everything in life comes with different options. So it's like, once you get past that scary first look through the door and just take that first step through the door, man, it changes. Like I said, it elevates exactly what you thought you were going to get times 20. You get what I'm saying? Because not only are you getting that satisfaction of yourself.
Sorry.
No. Go ahead, baby. You know what I'm saying? I said the word. I said 20 for a reason. not only do you get that satisfaction of yourself, man, but everybody else starts to see the change in your life too as well.
And just to piggyback on that, you use the number, I believe, to, kind of quantify his fear like 40 million times, right? So imagine if he goes through something after that, that's like 20,000 times what the fear was before that. He's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's easy work.
20.
Easy work.
Exactly, bro.
I've been through hell, nigga. I've been through hell.
Right.
Hell, bro.
That's so real.
This is the Garden of Eden up here.
Yeah,
this is the Garden of Eden, man.
Is this the
sanctuary, boy?
Yeah.
I've been through hell,
man. Listen.
That's true, man. That is true, man. That is true. I like this phrase, man. This is dope.
Yeah, that's what when I started, I'm like, word. All right, so let's get into the next level, next layer. So we started off 14th century, Dante's Inferno, the Divine Comedy. Let's jump to the 17th century, 1606 to be exact, and MacBeth. And our guy, Billy Shakes, William Shakespeare, is back again on ATP. This man, is he co-hosting? This man is always talked about on the show. He's done a lot. So in 1606, and he had one of the biggest haters of all time, and who coined the phrase. His hate was so strong, he coined the phrase. That was on this episode this season. 1606, MacBeth in Act 3 says, I am in blood, stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as a goer. So again, Shakespeare, we're gonna have to really, really sift through that. So I'm gonna say it again in parts. I am in blood. So MacBeth, I'll tell the story of MacBeth, but he's in blood. He steps in so far that he can't go no more. Should he wade no more? But returning will be as tedious as going. Returning would be just as hard as going. So they're basically saying, like, if you have to struggle through something difficult, physically or not, going back requires just as much effort as it does to go through. Like, so it's a different little spin. It's like, not only is the only way out through, but you're really not saving yourself anything by turning around. Now let's get the context of MacBeth's. I'm not gonna ask you guys if you read it. If you read it, kudos. Actually, if you read it. So MacBeth is about a brave.
Denzel did his thing though. I don't know if you ain't got to read it because Denzel did his thing.
Yes. There's a reference. Yes,
Denzel did his. I ain't gonna lie, man. Yes. I was like, whoa.
Yes. So if you have seen it, Denzel's in it. If not, it's about a brave Scottish general named MacBeth who receives a prophecy from some witches, 3 of them to be exact, that he had become the king of Scotland. So he was consumed by this prophecy. And he wanted, by ambition, he was like, every day, I'm like, I got to figure out I'm going to be the king. So his wife spurred him into action. Like, yo, you got to do it. You got to do it. So his first move is to kill the current king. So he kills King Duncan and takes the throne for himself. Now, because he murdered the king, he's like looking over his shoulder everywhere. Like, I don't know what the fuck. So he's like, I got to kill everybody that I think might be on to me. You know what I'm saying? I got to just keep killing everybody so I can keep being the king. And he continued to be more suspicious of everyone and just like was a victim to this. So it ended up being a civil war because of this, because of how often he was just murking folk. And the war ended with MacBeth and Lady MacBeth, his wife, being tortured into realms of madness. They just went crazy and they died. They died off that. So the story doesn't end well for him. The story doesn't end well for him, but his mindset in this story, and that's why I can't wait to hear where y'all at with this one. His mindset was similar to what Virgil said to Dante, which is, I mean, going back ain't an option. So I got to go through. I'm not saving myself, so I got to keep killing. But he ends up not having a happy ending. So, Danny, where you at with that?
It's interesting, we have the other side of the coin here, my guy MacBeth, he said, got to see it through, my boy. But I don't know if that was the right way to go about it, I think my thoughts are, and this is like to a little bit of a tangent from, the context, but in one's journey or in one's prophecy, I think it's important to learn like adaptability, with that too. Granted, after he killed the king, it is very hard to come back from that, and
Right.
you have opened Pandora's box in a way where you simply can't go back. But in less drastic situations, as it applies to our everyday lives, maybe it's like a bad relationship or something. At some point we have to learn we cannot continue to do the things that get us the result we do not want. And it's definitely an ego check for him too, to have this knowledge, this prophecy, and to act in that way clearly shows that, overinflation of the ego. So I don't have a linear thought, but those are my immediate thoughts for what I'm hearing,
Hey, and you don't even have to have a linear thought. That's the greatness of it. Like, it's really just like, because one thing I will say is that these phrases, I'm learning that they don't necessarily have like a target as much as they were just somebody shooting the arrow. Like, I for sure just want to shoot the arrow. Like, there's very few that have like a target. It's usually circumstance. It's the only thing that gets people doing it. So like your train of thought, just to validate, dog, your train of thought. 20, where you at with it, man?
Well, with me,
I can't hear you, bro.
I can't
hear you, 20. Did you mute yourself? Your mic is muted.
Oh shit. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Nigga press space twice. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, I had to. With what I was saying was with MacBeth, I think his whole thing was by any means necessary. You get what I'm saying? Like he wants to be king by any means necessary. I'm going to make this prophecy come to fold by any means necessary, and it doesn't matter how. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when you had said, Daniel, like you got to learn how to adapt. Like, is this the route that I want to go? You get what I mean? And some people get blinded by just, like I said, the outcome or the overall goal that they don't care how that journey is.
I like that.
They don't care how they walk through that door, as long as they walk through the door. So that's like an aspect of different cases. Like, I'm not scared of the journey because I'm gonna do it however I have to. I just want to get to the outcome. And sometimes, like, when you look back and it's like, damn, I killed like 200 people to get to where I am king. So the outcome has been fulfilled. But it's like, now when you get to that spot, you got to look back on how that journey went. And that journey was just what really drove him crazy.
Yeah, man. No, that's real, bro. That's real, because I think that is, even using the phrase, it's like, but you used it in a way where you were more concerned with the outcome than the journey. And it actually skewed you. Bet. All right, man. One more layer. Let's peel one more layer, okay? So going from the 17th century to the 20th century, early 20th century, 1914 to be exact. What's up, Black Dynamite? 1914 to be exact.
He was watching MacBeth too as well, and he got something to say about it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure MacBeth seems like a movie he would rock with.
He ain't like how they did his dog, man. They did his dog wrong.
Yeah, I get it. So 1914, my dog Robert Frost. I mean, he's from New England, man. I spent some time in New England. Robert Frost has a poem called "Servant to Servant," and this is often cited as the source of the exact quote that we're talking about. So the only way out is through, and it says, Lynn says the best way out is always through. And I agree to that. Or insofar as that I can see no way out but through. Least ways for me. So what this woman this is the servant to servant is a poem, and shout out Robert Frost, dog, is a poem which are the rambling thoughts of a woman that is like basically a housewife. And her husband like goes out and works, and I guess there's multiple people in this house because she keeps up and serves like the husband and like his homies, all the people that work in these woods or whatever. And so like she's a servant to servants because they're working class people. But she also recognizes that she's like a woman whose work is never done. So it's like, damn, like every day I'm doing the same fucking thing. Every fucking day I'm doing the same fucking thing. And then my man Lynn, who she refers to in the quote, moves to the woods nearby. So they live in the woods. She moves to the woods nearby, and he lives by himself, and he gets to do whatever he wants. So it's not even thirst. It's just like admiring the fact that he lives by himself and gets to do whatever he wants every day. And she watches him and admires that. And she imagines herself being able to just live freely and live Lynn's what she would call idealistic lifestyle. And she wouldn't have to care about nobody but herself. But she also knew that she really thoroughly enjoyed being a kept woman. Like she wanted that freedom, but she didn't want that freedom. So her end goal was to be a kept woman. So she says, which is why she says, you know, the best way out is always through. And I agree. And so far that the only way out for me is to get through. To be a kept woman, I gotta keep being a kept woman. You know what I mean? I gotta ride this journey out. So it's like in Robert Frost's poem, it says like sometimes the problem, or if you have a problem, is not necessarily solvable in the sense of like I can change it. It's more so in the sense that the struggle of it is what is going to guide you through it. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to be a kept woman is to serve servants in her scenario. Is the only way is to like this thing I really don't be wanting to do, but I actually, in my heart of hearts, I actually enjoy not having to do a goddamn thing as far as the responsibilities of the household, like the responsibilities of like keeping the house and working and all that stuff. So the actual quote, it comes from Robert Frost's poem, Servant to Servant. Danny, is that where you got the quote from?
No, I actually I've heard it in different parts, but it's good to know where it actually came from.
Yeah. So Robert Frost is a decent person.
Robert Frost a day in my life.
You never heard of Robert Frost?
No.
Oh wow, he's my theory here. I'm gonna take a stab at my theory for why you've never, because he's just one of the most like he's a very well known poet, but he's like very regular. Like he's not a flat, like he's the boring poet. Like he just writes about foliage and shit like that. But he's written a lot about like the New England lifestyle. And I think if I'm, you know, again, this is not something I've researched thoroughly. Yeah, he has a lot. Robert Frost says he has poems you've heard, or these parts of poems, but it's very much like the old American dream. Like you drive up north to see the leaves change and warm by the fire type poems and like that type of style. So it would make sense why some people wouldn't have heard him, while also him being one of the, you know, most famous poets in the genre. It's just, you know, that's how it is. So we have gotten through the origin. Fellas, Danny, talk to me a little bit about how you feel about it being in Servant of Servants in the message that the kept woman had to say.
It reminds me of another phrase, which is not what this episode is about, but, you know, is the grass always greener? You know, especially, and I feel like our generation for sure can relate to that, working in our 9-to-5s. Yeah. And, you know, and this push to be an entrepreneur is not for everybody. And so, you know, sometimes we want to be kept men or women and get those good benefits, get that good 401k. But we also want to, you know, be on somebody's beach. You know what I mean? And so I get it. You know, like it's a hard life to give up. There's a lot of comfort that comes from just being kept.
And your only stipulation is the thing you hate the most. The only stipulation is the thing. Now, but 20, I'm gonna toss this one to you, this leading question that I enjoy. So with it being the thing you hate the most, I would like for you in this specific scenario to frame that, connect that in a way of like, you got to get through it. Another leading question I'm going to ask is, do you hate it the most because you actually hate it? Or do you hate it the most because it's the only, like not the only, but the struggle? It's the, you know what I mean? Like, and I'll connect it before because Danny said like running is trash. I hate long distance running. Running is trash. Hitting the bag is trash. Like he named it as trash. Like the challenge sucks. So the woman is saying, damn, serving these servants and working my fingers to the bone every day sucks. You know what I'm saying? But she's like, being kept is what I want to be. Connect that.
It's a struggle, bro, for real. Yeah. It's definitely a struggle. I mean, that's any, like you said, Danny, like if you work in a 9 to 5, like depending on what type of job you have, eventually you're gonna want to be the people that's in front of you instead of you being, you get what I'm saying? Like you being behind the counter. Like you ever heard, I don't know if you guys ever heard that, but it's like eventually you want to get from behind the counter. You get what I'm saying? And it's like a situation where if you're serving these people, like that could come in and just, here, let me get all these clothes you have on this rack, or let me do all this stuff that you have right here. Let me buy all these products that you have just so I can try it out. And you're going through that constantly. Eventually, you're going to be wanting to be that person that comes in and shows love like that and do things like that and be on the beach at 12 o'clock or to 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, when normally those are the hours that you put in work. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say it's envy, because I think it's a sense of you wanting to be in a better situation. And I don't think wanting to be in a better situation is considered envy. I think envy is considered, being in the same situation as someone else. But like, if you feel like you want to better your situation, that's where that struggle comes. And that's where that hate comes, because you can have an amazing career, you can have an amazing job, but it's always that feeling of wanting more that makes you not want to go to work.
Yeah. Like damn, I really hate driving to work. Bro, like, I really hate driving to work.
I have an amazing job, dude. Like, I have a very, very blessed job, and it's still a struggle sometimes to be like, man, let me
go up in this bitch. Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, I have and it's not even in the sense of, oh, I should be doing this, or I should be an entrepreneur, I should be or whatever the case may be. It's just a simple fact, like, of, I think, human nature, man. I think it's a realm of human nature, bro. Because like I said, there'll be a lot of things I hit you with another one. I know you said the grass is greener, but I hit you with another one, man. Like, one man's trash is another man's treasure. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, in a sense of, yeah, bro, like somebody is looking at you and like, man, I want to, like, that's where I want to be. But yeah, you're looking at somebody else like, that's where I want to be. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those deals where like you said, Mario, it's not a target. It's just an arrow in the sky. And if it hits you, it hits you. But if it doesn't, it's still an arrow, and it's still dangerous, and it still has those methods to it. But it's totally different if it lands on your foot as opposed to 2 inches to the right and it misses your foot entirely.
Exactly. No, I like that. I like that a lot. Especially, I like the finding the thing that, almost not finding, but you identify the thing you hate the most about the thing you like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, identifying the thing you hate the most about the thing you like, and then just coming, like you said at the beginning of the show, accepting that.
Yeah. Because the thing you like is the freedom. The thing you like is the freedom, and what you hate the most is essentially bringing you that freedom that you need.
Exactly. And also I was thinking about, like, would it be like you don't understand what the next thing is either? And we talked about that a little bit. Like, you truly don't you have an idea of what Lynn's life is going to be like, and you're like, even just thinking about that, like, what she did using the phrase was like, I don't think I want that life. I ain't about that life. Like, I like the thought of the freedom, but I ain't about that life. And that takes, like, okay, let me just continue to push. And that's almost like going back is the same amount of energy. Switching up is the same amount of energy. Not just sticking to the thing and seeing it through will create the same amount of work as the thing I'm saying I despise.
Yeah.
Danny, go ahead and talk. So, because I want to just remember what you just said, the going back part. I want to elaborate on that. But okay. Danny, I want Danny to go ahead and get us started.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you made a good point, Mario, about like reframing, because sometimes through is just as simple as reframing your mind to continue to do the same things you're already doing.
Yes.
Like maybe she, in her mind, the task that she hated, maybe she found a way to, to maybe not love those things, but to tolerate them in a way where she can better see her end goal.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Go ahead, 20.
perfect.
I was
Actually,
saying,
perfect.
if you remember.
That actually helps. That helps what I'm about to say too as well.
Cool.
Dan. It's like going back when we talked about people in their comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like I've known people that left higher paying jobs to go back to a lower paying job because it was comfortable for them. They already molded their life around that job to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm not going outside my means. I'm making this certain amount of money this week. I know I can make a little bit more if I just work a little harder, but I know guaranteed that all in all my bills going to get paid. You know what I'm saying? And I still have a little bit of money to go out Friday, Saturday night if I want to, as opposed to someone who's taking on that challenge of a harder, a more challenging position and making more and molding your life for that. You get what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people that are scared of a $20, $30 an hour job that's just happy with a $10 job.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like when you see those people that step out on those limbs, that goes through those doors to get that better job, to get that better mindset, and then be like, you know what? Nah, they taking away my Saturdays. I'm gonna go back and go ahead and get this $10.
Yeah. And you weighed that out.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
I like it, man. All right.
That's crazy.
It is. It's fire. It's fire. This phrase is going. Let's grade this thing, man. Let's appraise this phrase. So, Danny, we got a 3-category grading system, A through F grading scale. The first one is the power grade. Does it have impact when you hear it? Does it have impact when you say it? When it's said, like how are you feeling when it's said? And does it get its point across? I'm going to take care of that one. 20 is going to hit us with the speed grade. It's just the eloquent, the flow off the tongue, all that. And then we'll toss it to you to give us the guest preference, the wild card. And that's all things included, the power grade, the speed grade, now knowing the origin, the meaning, how you feel about it, your daily use, all that stuff wrapped in one. Yep. So I'll start with the speed grade. Man, look, I mean the power grade.
Power.
Yeah, power grade. I'm thinking, truth be told, like it's a hidden gem. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a hidden gem. So when it's said, I think it will get people going like this. For real, I think it will. But I don't know if because it's not so familiarized that it would stop somebody in their tracks, right? So the power is in the depth of it. And for me, that like not because of lack of value, but with specific to power, it takes something away from it. So let's I would give that B minus.
Heard that.
All right, where you at with it, man? 20.
No, I feel like you're right, Mario. You know, if you go back to the beginning of the show, I really wasn't familiar with it, but now that honestly, I called it like now that I know the origin and the definition and stuff, man, I've been around it all my life. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like it's something that maybe not in the physical form, but in a spiritual form has been around. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, because as black men, bro, we know that we can't take shortcuts in life. Yeah. That's probably one of the most I would say, I won't even say taught, I would say driven things that's been embedded in all of us. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's from your parents or whether it's from, guardians or it's from mentors. You get what I'm saying? Like that's something that we've always been around, even though it might not been a physical, it could have been more of a spiritual thing. Yeah. So I agree with that aspect when you say B minus. When it comes to the speed, I feel like it's short enough to get the point across, but I still feel like it's missing something. Like it's missing like one or two words in that. And of course, that's going to make it a longer phrase, and it's going to take much more to say. But I still feel like it's missing something. Not taking it away on the actual speed of it, but I still feel like it's missing something. So I'm gonna give it a B as well. Okay. You know what I mean? I feel like this, like one more word would make it a little bit more smoother. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But then again, I like that room for interpretation that it gives.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got to get through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's not saying get through a certain thing. It's get through whatever you need to get through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I got a lot of respect for it. So I give it more of a B. I'm gonna stick with B when it comes to the speed, Mario, just because I feel like on one hand it is missing something, but on the other hand, like that room for interpretation is golden for the actual saying.
Got you. B, that's real. That's real. I think that's strong. B is good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Danny,
Yeah.
all things included, man. Guest preference.
All things included, you guys made very good points in your assessment.
Thank you.
You know, I agree that it's a hidden gem. It's not as readily accessible. And I also think, kind of making up my own little point system, I look at, when I think of like phrases, I think of what is most universally like applicable. And
Right.
I do think that it can be applied to almost every different scenario you can think of.
Yeah, man.
You know, and so taking that into account, taking the depth that you can go into account, I think that I also agree that there's, you know, there is something missing, you know. I kind of err in you guys' realm. I'm gonna go B plus overall.
Ooh, B plus. This is actually solid. I ain't saying
No, listen, bro. Like, honestly, I know we, you know, we've had things that just been A plus, A plus, A plus, but I don't want the audience to like take away how much respect that we have for this phrase.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like we went through at least, like you said, we went through at least 4 different layers just off rip when it came to this phrase, and I feel like in 6 degrees, this phrase touches so many other phrases too as well.
Yes.
But
yes.
like we want to reiterate, guys, this is just our preference and this is just our thoughts on the phrase. So don't be in our comment box talking about, nah, this it deserves an A. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we think. And after grabbing all of the assessments, all of the information, we applaud, we beg of you to do it too as well. Listen to the podcast and assess it. And even if you do have an opinion, please let us know what you think the grade might be. Because I mean, I feel like this is one that, like we said, this is the 4th time we said it, but it's definitely a hidden gem that a lot of people should use, not just as something to say, but something to live by.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because even though we, you know, the origin of it is going through hell, but the outcome makes you 20 times better.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a situation where, yeah, it might be one difficult to live by, but I guarantee that the outcome, if you do live by it, will be way, way better than you expected or anyone expected.
Yep.
So yeah, I think fairly giving it overall in the B realm, I think it's definitely.
Man, it's a big up. It's a big up for this phrase. Yeah.
Good pick. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is something that I feel like a lot of people should revisit, at least revisit it, and assess how you feel personally, because I think, you know, this is definitely one of those phrases that we use, Mario, that can definitely help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Especially during these times now.
During these times now, man, where things are
during these times now where you want to get to the bag, or you want to better yourself, you know, self-care is huge now. You get what I'm saying? So those things right there, they take a little bit of discipline, a little bit of dedication, man. And I feel like this is what this phrase, and Danny, thank you for bringing this phrase, because this is what this phrase is coming with. Like, bro, you're going to have that dedication. You're going to have that discipline if you want any change. You know what I'm saying? So,
for sure. And to your point, you know, whether someone rates it an A or an F, I think I agree with you when you said earlier, like, if people were to step back and look, it was with them the whole time in some capacity. They may have went through something and already got out of something, and maybe they couldn't attach it to the phrase, but it's been there for a lot of people.
It's been there, bro.
It's doing its thing before. Just look over your shoulder, honey. Hey, man, before we get out of here, man, Danny, talk to us more about how we can support and find you and the Monarch brand.
First of all, I appreciate you guys a lot. This was a whole lot of fun. Thank you for, you know, engaging me and engaging my little phrase or whatever. But if you go to the monarchbrand.com, you can, see I have an about me section. You can see what the brand is about, the history behind the brand. You can purchase the product on social media. You can go to the Monarch Brand on Twitter or Instagram. There's a Facebook page. And just to plug my podcast really quick, if boxing is your thing, Last One's at the Bar is available at all major streaming platforms and on social media as well. At Last One at the Bar, and my personal one, the Water Podcast, again, major streaming platforms and at the Water Podcast.
Yeah, 20 fuck with that.
So what's those about? If you don't mind me asking in like 10 more seconds of your time, something at the bar. Last One to the Bar. What is that one?
Last One's at the Bar is specifically about boxing. It's me and two of my other friends, and whatever's happening in boxing that week, we record weekly and talk about boxing events. We recap, we predict fights. And the Water Podcast is just about whatever. I've had, I don't know if you guys are familiar with human design, but I've had a human design reader on. I just talk about whatever's about life. I've talked about church and, our relationship, with church in today's time and whatever hits me.
That's what's up.
It's totally different, but that's what's up, man. That's what's up, Danny. That's what's up, man. More blessings to you and more success to everything that you're doing, bro.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Stand up, crowd. Hell yeah. Word. All right, get up before we get out of here. Before we get out of here, man, we got one more thing, man. We got. Let's touch it, man. It's
the dictionary of misinformation.
Hit him one more time for the niggas in the back.
The dictionary of misinformation.
All right, Dan. This is my favorite. Honestly, this segment has been really, really growing ever since we've been doing it. I think this is a great nightcap to our actual show. A lot of fans been coming at us and telling us that this is probably their favorite parts of the show, other than actually finding out the origins of these phrases. But this right here it's a good segue to end the show with. What we do is we ask all of our guests to pick a letter in the English alphabet. Okay, A through Z. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I have to do it.
Based on what happened.
We're asking for any letter. If you want to pick a petty letter like V, X, Q,
you can't pick
you
X.
Can. Well, we don't have any more X. I guess we ran out of X. But so you can't pick X. So we're asking you, any letter. And what we do is we use that letter. And since this show is about, talking outside the norm, as much as people are living outside the norm, we like to talk outside the norm. But the most important thing is you got to do the research. You got to get the information behind it. And what this is a dictionary that me and Mario found. Well, Mario found it, and I put my name on it, like all explorers do. And it's pretty much giving you information that you have been misinformed about in the past. So it's like situations where you think you know something, but you really have no idea. Shouts out to MTV. All right. So Mario, what we're going to do is right now we're going to ask Danny to pick this letter. So whichever letter you want to pick, Danny, 1 through 26, we can definitely find something for it, as long as it's not X.
You said pick letter or number? Letter,
any
right?
Letter. Any letter.
Letter. Okay. I'm gonna go T.
T. Well, I don't think we've ever had T. Beautiful.
Have we had T before? We've had T, but we haven't had T.
Exactly,
Mr.
Williams.
All right.
I actually opened up straight to T, man.
So what Mario's doing right now, guys, he's looking through the dictionary of misinformation, and he's going through T, and he's going to pick his favorite one out. Yeah. You usually could tell which one he picks because he chuckles right before he says it. So the suspense of it is look at the chuckle. Look at the chuckle. The suspense of it is there because he's the only one that really know what he's about to say.
Hey man, okay, so this, I don't know if this is a misinformation, but that I know. I didn't know this misinformation. I didn't know this was common knowledge, but we gonna get this out here. And it probably is relevant. So T, the word the starts with T, so it's like a trick. We're gonna talk about the average IQ of the American public.
Wait, the average IQ of the American population.
Of the American population. It's actually like there's a common knowledge or misinterpretation, misinformation that the average IQ of the American public is that of a child of 12 years old. That's what people believe. Like, that's out here, right? And it started making its way around in the late 1800s. But the IQ of a child of 12 is exactly the IQ of someone at birth. And that will continue throughout life. So it means something and nothing, because a 12-year-old's IQ can't be measured. It's the same IQ that would be measured at birth. I don't know. I don't know.
Wow. So you're saying that when somebody says the average IQ of someone in America is a 12-year-old,
it's actually the same IQ as a baby. But also, this one's weird. But also, your IQ increases based on, I just read, your IQ increases based on skill and development. So it's actually not something that
obviously
you're you're not born.
Because if you're
smart.
12, you don't start really doing things on your own experience until like 15, right? Like
so
14,
yeah. So
I know in our community, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we would be able to go outside by ourselves to the street light, but like actually working and stuff like that and experiencing
building
actual
that skill,
life, like getting a job. I think getting a job is still like 14, 15.
Yeah.
So you're not really experiencing and growing your IQ. Oh, okay. It's not about what you're learning. So they're saying the IQ is basically your experience, your life experience, as opposed to learning in school.
It's just saying that like your IQ, the measurement of IQ is the same until you are learning professional skills.
Oh.
Yeah. Like even though there's an IQ test for children, like I don't know what they're basing that off of anymore. This one's got me. Because I was told I was very smart as a kid. My IQ is the same as my son's. Who's 2?
Got me.
So they've been misinforming you, thinking that you
like I thought I was
just
a
because
smart
you know
kid.
that 2 plus 2 is Mario doesn't make you better than an infant.
Yeah, it doesn't make me better than an infant. He's learning at the same rate.
Wow, man.
That's
ahead,
dope.
Danny. Hey, listen, bro. The dictionary of misinformation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I didn't know. I didn't know that. That's how we were actually measuring IQ.
So all those parents out there, if these teachers are telling you that, they do an IQ test for your children, man, don't let them do it, because it don't mean nothing.
It don't mean that he can get smarter. His IQ can increase. It doesn't
not a matter
if
they want to keep your son back because they say his IQ isn't. No, he can get.
Actually, that's the pushback.
That's what you say to the parents.
Yeah,
all right, y'all, we out of here.
All right,
we gonna talk
thank you again.
argue.
We're not arguing with y'all. Hey, man, you can catch us. You can catch us on the Underdog Podcast Network, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Thank you to Danny. Thank you to my guy 20. Yes, sir. Hey, man, appreciate you, bro. I'm looking forward to more work together. Stay tuned. If you're rocking with the Monarch brand, go check out the website. If you're really rocking with it, we might got a surprise for you, and the mic is silent. And remember that value is in the eye of the appraiser. All right, y'all.
I'm good. Say the mic is silent.